larb is a type of salad which is very popular in Thailand and Laos. It is usually made with meat, fresh herbs, and roasted brown rice. Gary is going to show me his take on the dish, which uses prawns and green papaya.
So the essence of larb is the crunch in there, which is rice.
Yep.
And it's actually a really good flavour carrier, but it's got a great flavour of its own because it's toasty, right?
Yes.
And interesting. Anything you toast, like a grain, say like buckwheat, gives you a totally different flavour, right?
Is it that smoky sort of flavour?
Get a bit of heat into the pan, then turn it down and just basically regularly stir or toss the rice so you get a really lovely golden brown. And then the other thing, of course, and, you know, people are afraid still, amazingly, of eating the best part of the prawn, which are the heads and shells. What I tend to do when I peel a prawn is, number one, I'll take these, you know, little kind of filigree shell off the tail. Keep this, right?
Yeah.
You either keep the tail or you chuck it away.
Okay.
Intestinal tract or poop chute, we like to call it. So that goes. But the other thing, particularly this part of the prawn head, there's a little spiky bit on the front that often I'll just take the eyes and that little spiky bit. But this stuff, juicy, delicious, yummy.
Pan fry it.
You can just pan fry that, and we see it in teppanyaki restaurants. So what I do, keep the prawn meat shells into the oven. Once they're dry and roasty, you're going to blend them because they're really tasty. So they'll take about 10 to 15 minutes. And then the rice, that's been about, what, 3-4 minutes so far?
That's the sort of colour that you want.
Great. So let's make the dressing. So this is nok cham, nok nam, whatever you want to call it. The way I make it is sugar and lime juice first. So you want to squeeze some lime juice in there for me. And make lime cordial first.
Okay.
Sounds weird, but essentially you add sugar so that you get the right amount of sweetness to that lovely fresh acidity of the lime.
And what do you got there?
So I've actually, this looks really light, doesn't it? So this is actually stevia. So let's add in enough. I don't know how sweet it's going to be. I need fish sauce now. Say in Western cooking, we're always adding salt. In Asian cooking, add fish sauce, add soy, until you get sweet,
sour, salty.
salt. So that's what we've done. So we've got cordial, sweet and sour, and then salt is our fish sauce. So have a little try.
Do you want more? Do you want more?
Yeah, a little bit. Now you know I like fish sauce. Plain, I'm going to grate a little bit of ginger. And then maybe if you could just shred me a little bit of chilli and a little bit of
And how do you want it?
lemongrass.
Just...
Okay, that's perfect.
All right, so the lemongrass, we always want to use a white part, isn't it?
Soft, white, tender part. And the key is to shred really finely. So, you know, what I do is I just kind of smash it up a bit, you know, just to tenderize it and also flattens it. Then it's easier to shred really fine. Now, lime leaf, I'm going to shred these out of my garden, right? So I just picked these this morning.
Should I taste this?
Yeah, taste. Tell me what you think. I'm going to put that lemongrass in.
That's delicious.
That's good.
It's got a good chilli hit.
So that's a few of the aromatics cut for the salad for a bit later. Now we've got to marinate prawns. So if you could put about a third of that dressing, if that, probably two or 3 tablespoons full. And then what I'm going to do, I'm just going to chop them into little pieces. And I need some light soy sauce. So if you could grab that. I'd love you to shred or slice thinly a couple of those shallots and chuck them in with the prawns. White pepper, actually the source of all heat throughout Thailand and Vietnam, Cambodia, until chili's arrived, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to take a bit of this rice, enough just to grind. Oh, yeah, good. Yeah, so that's what it is, and it's really intense. And you know the weird thing, ever since I made this the first time, I'm like, okay, I can put that in lots of things. The rice, it's not about getting a powder, but more of it's like a coarse powder. So there's got to be some...
breadcrumbs.
Breadcrumbs is a great way of putting it. So there's got to be some texture in there because that's where you get the crunch from. And once that's saturated with dressing, it tastes nice. So why don't you mix a good amount of that in there. So that looks pretty good, doesn't it? If you could cut the snake beans into maybe 3 centimetre lengths, and we're going to pick some coriander, some mint, some holy basil, and also shred some of that green papaya. So got a bit of work to do. Some of these in the mortar. We're going to bruise them, slather it in a bit of the dressing.
Okay.
And because they're bruised, they're going to take on some of that flavour. So a bit of that rice and prawn in there. We'll put the rest of those beans.
And
actually,
julienne?
before you chop,
yeah.
just put in a couple of spoonfuls of the dressing. Let's put 3 or 4 in.
Okay.
That's great. And it's just starting the process off. And so, see? And it's good. And I guarantee you, like even after a few seconds, you eat these, and you've got bags of flavour. So while you're doing some julienne, and we don't need a huge amount, I'm just going to heat a pan. We're going to put a little bit of oil in, and then we're going to fry those marinated prawns. What I want with the prawns, obviously they're going to cook quite quickly, but I want a high heat so that marinade caramelizes, fixes all the flavour, you know, the pepper
You don't want
particularly.
it to stew.
No,
basically.
exactly. But what I am going to do is put more of this kind of, you know, my little umami crunchy base.
So you just want them torn, basically?
Yeah, perfect. And you can have whole ones, torn ones. So out that comes. And we'll just let that cool. So in goes the beans. So these prawns are still a touch warm, but cool enough to make us have them big, just cheeky.
We're not going to have anything left.
Really yum. Right. Chip
Yum.
all of that dressing.
All of it.
In it, yeah, because what we want it to be drenched.
Yeah.
That's the key. More of the rice because we want lots of that.
Lots of crunch.
Crunchy stuff. And you can chuck some lettuce in.
Okay.
You just toss everything together. And you can let that sit there for a minute if you want, because you want it to take on all those flavours. It's not sopping, but it's wet enough and moist enough just to be really tasty. Yummy.
It's still quite sour,
Yeah.
but that's going to give it that balance.
You got
of
more flavour
saltiness.
going on, all right? And then all I do
Yep.
is just build a big mountain of the stuff, stick it on the middle of the table. The new mantra for me is juicy, fresh and crunchy, which is a little bit different from last year, which was a bit more kind of fatty, plump and unctuous.
Buttery.
Yeah, buttery. Right, eating time?
Time to
Sure.
taste.
I've eaten plenty, mind you. You know, while I've been snacking.
But it doesn't count because it's...
Well, no, not like this bowl. You see this bowl over here. See, because all of that, that's where all the real action is, just there. Delicious.
Gas. You can come over anytime.
And cook, as long as you chop.
I'll chop, I'll clean. You just cook and you tell me what to do.
Okay. Yum, yum.